Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 2 of season 2 of our F1 2010 career mode. Yes, we return this weekend back out in Australia, obviously back in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix, of course. If you missed out on the video that went live a few days ago from Bahrain, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. And, well, first of all, I just want to say, you got baited. Yeah, really happy that a lot of you guys honestly thought I was having to stick with HRT come the end of last season. But obviously we joined Mercedes. Round 1 went pretty well. Could have ran better, but could have also gone a whole lot worse for us based on what happened. Lewis Hamilton clearly still upset. No? Okay. Our engineer is clearly impressed that I can score points in a car that should be scoring points. But yeah, like I said, if you missed out on the video that went live from Bahrain, go back, check it out. It was quite an interesting one. Hamilton tried to take me out twice. He did succeed once, admittedly, in that time. And it meant, though, despite starting from pole position, we could only pick up a P4 finish in the end. Fernando Alonso winning the opening race of the season ahead of Jenson Button, and Adrian Sutil, for the second year in a row, bagged a podium. Out in Bahrain as well. We came through, like I said, for P4. Timo Glock seems like he's once again going to be carrying the Virgin team with a P5 finish ahead of Felipe Massa, Mark Webber and Jaime Alguersuari there with, I think it was De La Rosa and Karun Chandok for HRT able to pick up a point as well. So a huge amount of drivers actually scoring points in that opening race. In fact, 9 teams have already scored so far this season. Only Lotus, Williams and Renault are yet to get out of the starting blocks. So, will be kind of interesting to see. Obviously, without us kind of massively boosting HRT up the order, kind of, you know, what they're going to be able to do this season, what our Virgin going to be able to do, and everything like that. I'm hoping between myself and Michael Schumacher that we might be able to make a run at the Constructors' Championship as well. But yeah, of course, if you're new, please make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Like I said, our main goal, though, is to try and win a Formula 1 World Championship. Australia last season was carnage, so will it be the same today? Heading straight out then into Q1, hoping, of course, obviously, once more, that we should be in the fight for pole position based on free practice time now. I've actually gone through this weekend and hopefully ready for either Malaysia or Shanghai next time out. Would have unlocked the rich reds once again in the car, so hopefully we'll obviously get that all sorted. 27.5 on a set of primes. I mean, that should be enough to see us safely through into Q2 immediately. But I'm always still a little bit nervous that the AI is suddenly just going to find loads of speed. Well, there we go then, almost immediately straight to the top of the pile then here in Australia. Just half a tenth though clear of Hamilton, so that could be quite a close fight. Obviously, as the grip and the temperatures wrap up, or ramp up even, I should say, later on in the session. Schumacher inside your top 10, both Force Indias inside your top 10 once again. Really does seem like, obviously, with the tiering system, Renault have kind of been a bit nerved ready for the start of Season 2. But once again, then, it's going to be all your back markers, and this weekend, Sebastian Buemi, who joins them out in Q1. Q2 then might be a bit more of a tricky affair. As you can see, we've got one of these wonderful sessions where it's not actually raining that much. There is still a lot of water down on the circuit now. Normally that means that despite, obviously, the look of the circuit, we've still basically got peak grip. So we're going to take the option tyre out this time round. And hopefully, yeah, we can just safely make our way through into Q3. Kind of funny that obviously you know got all this spray being kicked up, everything like that, but the car was still absolutely fine. There's Hulkenberg. First run for him is a 1:37.9. I think we should hopefully go a fair way quicker than the German. But once again, of course, we just got to try and meet our objective. The team are hoping for a top 6 in qualifying. But obviously, on the one hand, I want to try and bag a win for the team nice and early on this season. Obviously, you know, bring the silver arrows back to the top of the sport. Make it clear that maybe, you know, getting rid of Nico Rosberg wasn't the worst choice they ever made either. But obviously, we need to be consistent this season if I want to fight for a championship. I think we've got a car that can. It is just going to come down to me and my ability to bottle races. Nice and tidy then as we make our way in towards the final couple of corners. Try and throw the car around those final couple of turns. Really, really tricky actually. Try and get the throttle down out of that final corner. 37.9 for Hulkenberg, 28.9 for us. Casually 9 seconds quicker than the Williams man, so that's surely a good omen. Well, there we go then. I think the grip did ramp up later on in the session, but is that the first time this year I haven't been fastest in qualifying? I honestly can't remember what happened in Bahrain in terms of Q1, Q2. Sebastian Vettel, though, now fastest, just ahead of Mark Webber and Felipe Massa. So I believe it might be... It's near enough the same top 10 as what we saw last weekend. Kamui Kobayashi, almost a brilliant effort there to bring his Sauber into that Q3 run. But Adrian Sutil, Robert Kubica will be joining your Big Four teams. Let's try and bag pole. Well, this circuit has just got wetter and wetter then as we made our way through the sessions. We've unlocked cruise on the engine, but apparently, yeah, we still haven't unlocked rich revs then, so gonna have to wait for that ready for next weekend. But Jenson Button then, top of the pile at the moment on a 136.3. Of course, as always, I've had to ramp up how much fuel we got in the car. So we know we should be able to get 3 laps in. If I need them. Of course, you never just quite know exactly how much pace the AI are going to be able to find towards the end of qualifying. But yeah, this first lap will serve us as a bit more of a banker. And then obviously we'll kind of see how much the pace ramps up. Well, first lap then so far has felt pretty clean. But yeah, these final couple of corners, this Mercedes is definitely lacking a little bit of low-end downforce there. As rolling back on the throttle though. I think this is going to be a pretty good first run then. A 131.5. 5 seconds clear of anybody else. But is this track going to ramp up right towards the end? Ooh, yellows. We've got yellows towards the end of our second run. So we're going to have to let off there as that is Webber. Mark Webber off in the wall. So disappointing end potentially for qualifying for him. I don't think he's going to be able to get another run in that car. But Alonso now has gone back up to P2. So clearly the AI are still ramping up their speed. The annoying bit is, though, I don't know what time he's set, so I don't know if he's much closer to us now. As no, he's still 3 seconds off the pace. I think unless something crazy happens now, we should have this locked down. Well, I did just go for my final glory run then right towards the end of the session, just in case anybody else was able to kind of, yeah, like I said, get a bit of a miracle in. But as we make our way through that final corner, little slide. No, don't hit the wall. Oops. I think Mercedes might be upset with that, but I think we're on pole anyway. There you go. So, yeah, pole position then by 4.3 seconds. I'm sure, yeah, Ross Broad is very, very happy with that one then. But, I mean, if conditions stay like that, the Grand Prix is going to be rather easy for us. Schumi down in P8. Imagine out-qualifying Michael Schumacher by 6.2 seconds in equal machinery. F1 2010, ladies and gentlemen.
The team are expecting something special after your points finish last race. Don't disappoint them, mate.
Well, here we are then, down on the grid. 5 red lights are on for the Australian Grand Prix, and it is go, go, go there. And we need to have a better lap 1 than we did last time round. Once again, we actually seem to get off to a slightly better start there, but we're going to get dived in towards turn 1. I can see both Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel trying to have a look, and Felipe Massa seems to have come out better than either of them there. So Felipe now trying to look round the outside in towards that next corner, and where on earth he found the grip? Felipe Massa straight up into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. They're an incredible start by the Brazilian as he's going to try and immediately set sail off into the sunset nice and early on. But I felt like I broke a little bit too late there and was going to miss the apex. But Felipe Massa absolutely sailed it in, reminiscent. I believe it was the 2008 Hungarian Grand Prix, wasn't it? Where I believe it was both he and Kimi got the jump on the McLarens right at the start of that race. Of course, Felipe absolutely dominated that one, and then the Ferrari engine blew up with 2 laps to go. So he'll be hoping that that doesn't happen today there. But I guess it's not as bad a start as obviously what we had out in Bahrain last weekend. But yeah, Felipe Massa, he's already 2 seconds clear. He's absolutely gone up at the front of the order. But Like I've said, we need to try and focus on consistency. I'd love to pick up a trophy this afternoon, but especially in 2010, just because of obviously how the IRL season worked as well, it is quite difficult, I believe, for the AI to kind of really dominate a world championship. If you can remain consistent, if you can just pick up good, solid points week in, week out, you don't actually have to win that much inside this game. As long as, you know, you're bagging top fives, you're probably going to still find yourself in the World Championship fight as... Well, here comes Fernando Alonso then, trying to potentially have a bit of a look. Oh, thinks about it to the inside there, ready for turn 3. But can't quite make that one happen. Well, this might be the most quintessential F1 2010 thing, isn't it? You take pole by over 4 seconds, get into the race, you know, feeling really confident with the car underneath you. And Felipe Massa now is casually running about 1 minute 25 lap times. I reckon if I nailed it in qualifying, there was probably a low 26, so I think he just made a little error. We did just gain a little bit of time back on him once again. That is our saving grace here in Australia. The AI can be a little bit all over the road there as someone's clearly had a big old wobble through the final couple of corners. I mean, for Felipe Massa, I'm trying to remember, did he win a race last season? We had quite a few different winners, but I'm not sure if Felipe... I feel like it was him and Mark Webber that didn't win a race. I could be wrong on that. Obviously, Mark Webber then did win the season finale at long last. Oh, Fernando! Oh, I didn't think he'd actually commit to it. Fernando Alonso goes tumbling round at turn 1. I want to say he was a bit of a day late, $1 short there. Kind of swung in for the apex just as he tried to go for it. That's given us some breathing room behind, but maybe more staggeringly, Fernando is still in 3rd. Well, Hamilton now then has been able to find a way around Fernando Alonso, so, I mean, both Ferraris still circling inside the top 4. Obviously, they get a huge performance hit this season, because obviously beat out Mercedes over the course of the last campaign. Feels like the pace to Massa has kind of stabilised a lot more. I'm definitely still slower, but not by as much. Like I said, I think we just kind of got to, you know, play our own race, kind of focus, do our own thing. There will be races or stints or even just laps on this game where you just can't do anything against the AI. And I think, obviously, back when we were at HRT, we tried to fight that a bit too much. This Mercedes isn't a bad car, so we've just kind of got to focus up and just try to avoid making errors. And hopefully the race, obviously, should come to us, assuming already into the pit lane then. But, yeah, the gap to Felipe up to 6 seconds now. So, like I said, I think unless something crazy happens to him, he's probably long gone. Oh, there we go. I believe Felipe Massa then is into the pit lane at the end of lap 6. So that is a rather early stop. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, actually. I can't see him. Oh, no. There you go. So Felipe Massa then, even our engineer there is wishing he was Felipe Massa's engineer. I mean, that lap he put, what, 2.5 seconds on me. I didn't quite see what my lap time was, but that is utterly insane. But we're going to peel into the pits then at the end of this lap, slap on a set of the prime tyre to go to the end of the GP. But, oh, yeah, we're definitely starting to struggle a little bit more with the rotation in the car. Really, really odd, of course, last weekend in Bahrain, once we kind of settled back down after the incident with Lewis early on, it felt like we were trying to attack the AI a bit more. Here in Albert Park, we are just hanging on for dear life as, yeah, Hamilton trying to look for moves absolutely everywhere. Interestingly, I think the team had originally, well, planned for us to be on a 2-stop. We're not going to talk about that line, whatever that was. Into the pits then we will come at the end of lap 7. Of course, as always, got to be really, really careful. We don't speed, I don't hit a wall, I don't do anything too stupid on the way in. There you go, so we'll get the limiter on. Oh, and I got to make sure I brake immediately, don't I? Oh, there we go. We did get it slowed down that time round. I just remembered at the last second that obviously we needed to do that. Still not a great stop, though. 6.3 seconds from the team is not what I was really hoping for. We are going to re-emerge, I believe, just outside of the points, though. So, yeah, we're back out. Oh, we're just going to come out behind Heikki Kovalainen. So, we've got to be really, really careful now in these next couple of laps that I don't get under, or overcut even, I should say. So, I believe Pedro De La Rosa tried to have a look round my outside at turn 1. But that is definitely not going to happen. There we go. More cars into the pit lane then at the end of lap 8. So... Hamilton now up to the front of the order then. So, are we going to get eyes on Felipe Massa? Oh, I can see someone heading out of the pit lane. That is Button, though. And Sebastian Vettel, who that is definitely not a quite a legal pit lane exit. But he'll make an error on the exit of the turn 1. And we will be able to get past him then as we make our way down the short shoot. But, yeah, I mean, obviously last year, we should have scored points, to be honest. I bottled that race. Well, right on the very last lap, I was talking of bottling it. Sorry, Seb. Ooh, don't bottle it again. As soon as I mention the word, we end up all over the road. But, yeah, like I was trying to say, last year's season, of course, we should have scored our first points for HRT here. Did take me a little while longer. This season, obviously hoping, you know, we should be getting some solid points from this race. But, yeah, I'm just worried, of course, with how much even the likes of Button and Vettel were able to undercut us. Are we still going to be aiming for another P4 finish? I mean, if I finish P4 in every race this season, that would be, I believe, 228 points. Probably, oh, where on earth am I going? Wouldn't be enough probably to win the title, but would probably keep us in the fight. Well, there we go, a load more cars in, and well, easily the most alarming bit about these last couple of laps is the fact that we never even closed back in on Heikki Kovalainen there. But who is that then? That is Hamilton, I believe, making his way out of the pit lane as we've just got the jump on Mark Webber. But Hamilton, oh, a little bit of a wobble then out of turn 1. Ferrari provisionally with a 1-2 here, but we will tuck up in the slipstream. Hamilton going to try and go a bit defensive into that next corner. Misses the apex though. Oh, a little bit of contact again. Where is Lewis trying to take me? Vettel goes through. We'll say thank you very much then, but what on earth is Hamilton attempting there? We got down his outside. He just wanted to slowly squeeze me out towards the wall and was quite happy to risk his own car to try and do it. Not too sure what his issue is with me, but that has worked out badly for the pair of us. Oh, Seb spun. Seb spun and Buttons collected him. Jenson Button's just gone underneath Sebastian Vettel. What on earth is that? I don't think I've ever seen a crash that big inside this game. There was, yeah, Sebastian Vettel went round and, well, that was almost reminiscent. I think it was Schumacher and Suthill. It was Schumacher and definitely one of the Force Indias in Abu Dhabi 2010. Really, really scary crash, actually. But, yeah, Sebastian Vettel, Jenson Button there, a huge crash. And maybe now we're starting to see a bit more chaos from this race. When is Alonso going to peel back into the pit lane as well, then? Wait, Vettel's still going? Vettel's just had a car go underneath him and he's still running in P5. No idea who that was with a puncture as well, but yeah, I think that's really obviously helped Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. Could Ferrari be on for a 1-2? Oh no, that puncture was for Michael Schumacher, so 2 races down, and it still doesn't look like he's going to score a point early on in this campaign, but obviously we've got to try and focus on our own race at the moment. Sebastian Vettel, he is still pushing on, still trying to get back to us. So yeah, we've just got to try and keep myself out of trouble. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I just missed my braking point down at the end of the back straight, and Sebastian Vettel, oh, we'll say thank you very much then. That's a rather annoying one. As there you go, Fernando Alonso still leading this race with less than 10 laps to go now, but I don't believe he's pit yet. So I don't really know what's going on with Fernando there as well. We've got him thrown away a good couple of seconds on that lap as well. But I believe when he does pit, we should be back ahead of him here. But yeah, annoyingly though, I've let Sebastian Vettel by now. So unless we can try and find a way back past him, our podium dream might be dissipating right in front of my eyes. But yeah, I've just got to kind of wait on Fernando and see what happens with him. Oh, we've got yellows. We've got yellows. Someone else has gone round. Oh, Hamilton, Vettel and Alonso. What on earth has happened? Vettel and Alonso are both gone then. So our race winner from Bahrain and our world champion now out of this race as well. So I can only assume that Alonso on dead tyres span, and Hamilton and Vettel just have nowhere to go to avoid him. But back up into P2 then of this race. Felipe Massa still comfortably out in front. Hamilton's still going in P3. So I'll be looking to obviously try and make sure we hold off ahead of him. And obviously get our revenge from that incident earlier on. And of course the 2 incidents we had with him out in Bahrain. But Kamui Kobayashi now up to P4 for BMW Sauber. And well, there may not be as much chaos in this year's Australian Grand Prix. But yeah, that corner heading out to the back straight has not been friendly to Sebastian Vettel today. Oh, we got another spinner. We got another spinner. Don't tell me that's Felipe Massa. It is! Felipe Massa in the wall! And we are into the lead of the Grand Prix then, late on in the day, 6 laps to go. And Felipe Massa, he has absolutely dominated this race. He's been under no pressure at all. I'm sure Rob Smedley won't be best pleased with that one. Massa, though, I don't know if he's at the Grand Prix, or whether he's still going to be able to see the checkered flag, but we've got a 10-second gap to Lewis Hamilton. It does look like Felipe Massa is still running, but patience has been key today for us. I've tried not to over-push. I've tried to minimise my own errors, but clearly the AI just haven't. Well, I've got no idea what's happened now then, but Massa is back up to third, and Hamilton seems to have gone from our top runners. He might have had to pit again. It might be nothing, but Felipe Massa then still running in this GP and still looks like he's going to be on the podium, but I was just hoping. I mean, at one point it looked like I wasn't even going to bag a podium in this GP after that mistake against Seb, but I was just hoping to score some good solid points here today. I was not expecting us to be in this position with just a handful of laps to go, and unlike our HRT last year, this car gives me enough confidence that we should make it to the flag without any major issues. Well, I was about to comment on how much for time Felipe Massa had been taking back out of me. He closed the gap back down to less than 11 seconds, but he seems to have disappeared as well now. Robert Kubica up to P2. Sebastian Buemi could be on for his first ever Formula 1 podium as well, just ahead of the Antonio Liuzzi here. So I think, honestly, I mean, it's Australia. It's always going to be a bit chaotic as well, but we might be the only kind of big, heavy hitter here today that is actually going to score points. And, well, like I said, that is critical if we want to fight for a World Championship this year, that you've just got to keep the points rolling in. I feel like the only front runner I've really got no idea about is Mark Webber. No idea if he crashed out early on or got involved in someone else's wreck, or is just circulating down in the lower half of the points. I've honestly got no idea. But I think the maddest thing about this race, I've got no idea how many cars are even still running. I don't feel like I've seen that many instances. Calm it down. Don't need to do that. But yeah, we could literally get to the end of this race. There could be 8 cars running. There could be 18 cars running. I've just got no idea. One more lap to go then. And honestly, the thing I'm thinking about most at the moment is just how I gave this big speech about why consistency is so important on this game. Boy, oh boy, immediately, my point has been proven. Sometimes you are better off just trying to, you know, keep yourself keen, keep yourself kind of tidy and out of the way of other cars. Some races won't come to me, that's fair enough, but races like today absolutely will. And obviously, you know, we will have some tougher events coming up, for example, Spain. I'm still not looking forward to Barcelona. Hungary as well will probably be another painful race. Where scoring points, you know, might be unlikely, might basically be impossible for me still inside this game. But on maximum difficulty, in just our second ever race for Mercedes Formula 1 team, obviously they sacked Rosberg rather controversially at the end of last season to keep Michael Schumacher, the 7-time world champion, in. They have got a Rosberg replacement. We are hopefully going to be in the fight for a world championship this campaign. Yes, you might need some luck to fall your way on certain occasions. Yes, the AI were quicker than me on raw pace this afternoon, but as we round our way through the final corner, none of that matters if they can't see the flag, and boy oh boy, a lot of them haven't. The Silver Arrows back on top in Formula 1 again. It is victory in Albert Park.
Brilliant! Brilliant! That's the double, Paul in the win! Oh, you legend!
Well, there we go then. P1 here in Australia. 22 seconds clear of Robert Kubica. I didn't realise Sebastian Buemi, 45 seconds back come the checkered flag. He will not care though. He will be just as happy as we are with a huge podium for the Swiss driver as well there. Force India, big day out for them with P4 and P5. Just ahead, Heikki Kovalainen that picks up points for Lotus. Felipe Massa did still recover for P7 ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Kamui Kobayashi, not too sure what happened to him later on, down in P9. And Mark Webber, well, he did survive, but only down in 10th spot there. How many cars were still running then come the checkered flag? Hamilton out, Vettel out, Alonso out, Schumacher out, Button out, Jaime Alguersuari, and Karun Chandok as well. So 5 big heavy hitters that we would be expected to score points this weekend, alongside Alguersuari and, of course, Karun as well. What does that do, though, to the World Championship? Well, we are now top of the table.
Keep this up and we'll be crowning you champion at the end of the season.
Well, maybe our engineer, they're getting a little bit optimistic with that one. But a 12-point buffer then over Fernando Alonso. Adrian Sutil, the consistency man as well, up to P3. Robert Kubica now up to 4th, tied with Jenson Button. And Sebastian Buemi ahead of Felipe Massa. Viantonio Liuzzi inside your top 8. Just ahead of Timo Glocksil and Heikki Kovalainen. Heikki Kovalainen and Timo Glock ahead of Mark Webber in the World Championship. Absolutely mad, as obviously, Schumacher still yet to score a point. Hamilton and Vettel yet to finish a race as well, which is absolutely insane. But already 16 drivers have scored points from the opening 2 GP. Constructors-wise, though, we are now 2 back behind Ferrari. Force India, though, is still tied with us as well, so they could be a big threat. Toro Rosso way ahead of Red Bull as well, as has every team already scored a point? Every team has scored a point, just 2 races in. F1 2010, ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolutely wild game. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we will be back next time out. I honestly can't remember if it's Malaysia or Shanghai, but hopefully I'll see you guys there.